So my previous interrailing trips around Europe were planned using the map behind me and the rail timetable, which you can see behind me too. And they're both still great sources of information to help plan trips around Europe. But today I'm going to showcase how you can use Conductor Sam, a new AI-enabled Q&A service, to help plan an InterRail adventure. My trip will be starting in London, so I've asked Conductor Sam how I can use an InterRail pass on the Eurostar trains that would take me from St Pancras, under the Channel Tunnel, and over to Europe. And as you can see, what Sam's given me is a nice neat summary of the key things I need to know, such as the fact that I do need to reserve, the availability of seats is limited, etc. It's telling me how quickly in advance I can book ahead for that trip. And it's also given me a link through so I can access more information about using InterRail passes in general on a journey around Europe by train. Now I know that I need to make a reservation on the Eurostar train when travelling with an InterRail pass. I want to know how I can actually go ahead and book that reservation. So what I could do is click on the guide, and here I can access what I need to know about booking reservations on all sorts of trains with rail pass, including on the Eurostar from and to London. Or I can ask Conductor Sam how I can do that. So here I've asked how I can book InterRail reservations for Eurostar journeys, and I've been given the core information I need to know, such as the fact that I can save money on booking fees by booking directly with Rail Europe. So Sam will give me a link which takes me through to the Rail Europe website. Or I can access more information directly from Sam about using rail passes in and from France, because one of the journeys I may be taking is the train from London to Paris. So thinking about it, I've been to Paris by train several times before, so I'm wondering where else I can go on a Eurostar with my InterRail pass from London. So I'm going to ask Sam how I can do that, and Sam will now source information, including the Eurostar website, including showmethejourney.com and various other rail trail websites, and to give me a list of the destinations which I can take direct Eurostar trains from London to. And here I can see that I can actually take the Eurostar train from London to Amsterdam. And if I want more information on that, I can click through to the London to Europe guide and access information about how to take the train from London to the Netherlands. So I've decided that I want my first journey on my InterRail trip to be from London to Amsterdam. So now I'm wondering where I can travel onto from Amsterdam by train. So I'm going to ask Sam to give me some ideas about the second journey of my trip. So what Sam will do is pull together the source of information as before, but interestingly what Sam will do is it'll give me a slightly different answer to each time I answer this question, because what Sam will do is look at my previous search history, what else I've asked it in the past, etc. So what Sam's telling me here is I can take trains to Belgium, to destinations such as Brussels. I can take trains to Germany, to destinations such as Berlin and Dusseldorf. I can take a Thalys high-speed train to Paris, or I can take night trains to Austria. So of those journeys, the one I'm most interested in is the journey onto Berlin. So my next question is going to be about how to take that particular trip. So I'm now going to ask Conductor Sam how I can travel from Amsterdam to Berlin by train on the next stage of my trip. So as previously, Sam's going to pull together information from multiple sources, including Show Me the Journey, and it's going to work out what it's going to tell me about that particular trip. So here I've got a summary. It gives me an idea of how long the journey will take, what my options are. But of most interest to me down here is the fact that I've got more information about this journey. And perhaps that information will tell me how I can use my rail pass on this particular part of my trip. So I click on my From Amsterdam to Berlin journey guide, and sure enough, down here, I've got information about using my rail pass, or whether I need to book reservations on my journey from Berlin to Amsterdam. and I can click through to the Rail Pass guide for information on how I can actually go ahead and book. So having made 2 city stops in Amsterdam and Berlin, I'm now craving some scenery. I would have just travelled across Germany by day on the train from Amsterdam to Berlin. So I'm wondering if I can take a night train from Berlin to Switzerland. So I've asked Sam that question, and sure enough, it's given me an answer, including the fact that there are night trains from Berlin to Switzerland. And what I can do is click through here to the guide to more information on travelling on the night train. And on the menu here, I've got access to using rail passes. On the night jet train, as you can see, I've clicked on that guide of the menu, and here I'm being taken to more information about how I can use an InterRail pass on a night train. Or I could have asked Conductor Sam about how to book my reservation on the night jet train when using an InterRail pass. So as can be seen here, Sam's given me a summary of my booking options, including the suggestion that I can book at the travel desk station in Berlin without paying a booking fee. But I might want to book my reservation in advance before I reach Berlin. So here I've got more information that Sam's given me access to about booking reservations when using Eurail and InterRail passes. One of the options here is more information about using Eurail and InterRail passes on night trains. So I can read through this information and get a good idea of how I can book the reservations, what they will cost me, etc. So when I arrive in Switzerland, I want to extract good value for money from my InterRail pass by using it to travel on some nice journeys up to the mountain summits, etc. So I've asked Sam what Swiss railways are covered by using an InterRail pass, and it's given me a nice summary here on the main mountain routes on which InterRail passes are valid. By the way, I had to ask Sam 2 or 3 times a similar question to get this answer, because sometimes Sam doesn't come up with the goods first time round, but give it another try and it will take you to what you want to know. And as I've been given this summary, I want to know a bit more about these particular railways. So as usual, Sam's given me a link which I can use to access more information. And on this page, which is a general guide to using rail passes in Switzerland, on the menu, I've got easy access to information about using Eurail and InterRail passes in Switzerland, and it's given me here more information about the railway lines on which I can travel at no additional cost with a rail pass. The InterRail pass that I booked is valid for 10 days of travel. So there are plenty more journeys I want to take when I use the pass on this particular trip. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Sam about taking trains from Switzerland to Italy, and then potentially take some journeys from Austria, and then on into Eastern Europe. So I'll give you an idea of how you can use Conductor Sam to plan an InterRail trip. And I reckon in under 15 minutes, I would have been able to get a really good idea of where I can go with my InterRail pass this time round and how I can use it.